Brian Gilpin from Bangor in County Down, John Grunsell from Worcester, Martin Caffrey from Dublin, Dave Atkins from Ware in Hertfordshire, Geoffrey Donaldson from Orpington in Kent, Marilla Hargreaves from Blackpool, Judith Snell from Bristol, Ian Porter from Norwich, John Griffin from Eastbourne, Brian Smith from Tooting in London, Walter Stewart from Glasgow, June Blaney from Sutton Coldfield, Alexander Campbell from Poole in Dorset, Mike Braddock from Shrewsbury, and Alan Howes from Swansea are all here to play 15 to 1, presented by William G. Stewart.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, our previous winner today is Ian Porter from Norwich. Welcome back, Ian. With 8 programmes to go before the grand final, we could still see 4 or 5 of those names disappear from the finals board. There it is, and a winning score of 182 or above is required for a place on it. Off we go. And we begin with Brian Gilpin from Bangor in County Down. Brian, an unlabelled bottle of 60-year-old The Macallan sold for a world record £15,000 in Glasgow in September. It's the most expensive bottle of what ever sold?
Whiskey.
Yes, malt whiskey. And John, please. Trades unions. ASLEF stands for the Associated Society of Locomotive Engineers and what?
Footplatemen.
Firemen. Martin, please. Religious terms. In Dei nomine. What does that mean in English? In Dei nomine.
In the name of God.
And Dave, please. Quotations and sport. Who has these 2 entries in the Oxford Dictionary of Quotations? Boxing's just show business with blood, and know what I mean, Harry?
Henry Cooper.
Frank Bruno.
Oh.
And Geoffrey, please. The motor industry. In which town in Wiltshire has Honda opened the first greenfield site car plant to be built in Britain for 8 years?
Swindon.
And Marilla, place names. Which garden city estate was built near Birmingham from 1894 by the British businessman George Cadbury for his employees? Bourneville. Judith, please. Which newspaper proprietor and chairman of the Telegraph Group was created a life peer in September after renouncing his Canadian citizenship?
Hamsworth.
Conrad Black. Ian, please. The arts. Specifically, please, what do the letters R.A. after a person's name stand for?
Royal Academy.
Royal Academician. John, please. Classical music. Wagner's opera, Der Fliegende Holländer. How is its title translated into English?
The Flying Dutchman.
And Brian, please. Flags. Which flag, part of the Union flag or Union Jack, is described as saltire gules in a field argent?
Scottish flag, St Andrews.
No, St Patrick's flag. And Walter, please. Geography. Punta Arenas, one of the southernmost cities in the world, is in which country?
Chile.
And June, please. Japanese traditions. Taking place in a simple room, what or what sort of ceremony in Japan is a chanoyu?
Tea ceremony.
It is indeed. And Alexander, please. Wildlife and conservation. Which society with a membership above 1 million is Britain's largest wildlife organisation?
Wildlife.
No, in Britain it's the RSPB, the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. Mike, please. Books. Lecter is lying low, but a previous meal seeks revenge. A description of which Thomas Harris book, a sequel to The Silence of the Lambs, released as a film earlier this year?
Hannibal, no.
What did you say?
Hannibal.
Yes, Hannibal, yes, not Hannibal, no. And Alan, please. Charitable organisations. Which organisation, now worldwide, was founded in Chicago in 1905 to promote charitable work and fellowship among the business community, so called because the original group met in each other's houses in rotation?
Society of Friends.
No, the Rotary Club, Rotary International. Brian, your second question, computing. Which part of a computer's hardware is sometimes abbreviated to FDD? Floppy disk drive. John, please, the human body. In which part of the anatomy specifically might one sustain a Colles fracture?
Right.
In the wrist. And Martin, please, the animal world. Which mammals belong to the order Proboscidea?
Elephants.
They do, yes. Dave? The national charity Crisis works to help people faced with which situation?
Homelessness.
And Jeffrey, please. Television and radio. This is radio. The Radio 4 Appeal, a 5-minute programme on Sundays, replaced which programme seeking support for charities, first broadcast in 1926?
Don't know.
The week's good cause. Marilla, annual awards. PJ Harvey won this year's Mercury Prize. In which sphere of the arts is it awarded?
Music.
It is. Judith, please. Based in Southampton, the name, please, of the National Mapping Agency for Great Britain.
Ordnance Survey.
And Ian, please. Music hall songs. Which famous music hall song was inspired by Joseph Hobson Jagger, who won over 2 million francs in 8 days playing roulette?
The Man Who Broke the Bank at Monte Carlo.
Well, The Man Who Broke the Bank of Monte Carlo. And John, please. The decorative arts. What name is given to decorative work consisting of intertwined loops made with wool or thread and a hooked needle?
Intaglio.
Crochet. That's to do with sculpture that you're talking about, intaglio. And Brian, please. The Bible, which book of the Old Testament contains the 2 censuses of the Israelites after the Exodus?
Exodus.
The Book of Numbers. And Walter, please. Card and board games. The actor Omar Sharif writes a column for the Observer newspaper on which game?
Bridge.
And June, Shakespeare. Which Shakespeare play has in its cast a jester called Trinculo, a drunken butler called Stefano, and a savage deformed slave called Caliban?
Tempest.
Yes, it does. Alexander, television and Channel 4. In the autumn, which historian presented a 4-part series on the lives of the 6 wives of Henry VIII?
Alan Clark.
Dr. David Starkey. Mike, please. Science. What can be measured in units called pascals, bars and atmospheres?
Pressure.
And Alan, food and drink. Lava bread, spelled L-A-V-E-R. Lava bread is a Welsh dish consisting of boiled lava dipped in oatmeal and fried. What is lava?
Seaweed.
3 down, 12 to go. And those 3 must now leave us. And Philip, please.
And those eliminated are John Grunsell, Brian Smith and Alexander Campbell. And of the remaining 12 contestants, 4 still have their 3 lives intact.
And we start round 2 with Brian at number 1, the first correct answer, and we can start nominating. And Brian, we start with history. Britain's 2 longest-lived monarchs were both 81 at the time of their deaths. One was Queen Victoria. Who was the other?
Edward the Sixth.
George III. Martin, please. The arts. Robert Joffrey, George Balanchine and Martha Graham. Famous names in the USA in which of the arts?
Sculpture.
Ballet, all choreographers. Dave, please. Still ballet. Which ballet by Tchaikovsky includes the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, the Arab Dance and the Waltz of the Flowers?
Nutcracker.
Yes, Nutcracker. And a number, please, Dave.
14.
And Mike, please. Geology. Of what is speleology the study?
Caves.
Yes, and a number, please.
8.
The House of Commons, Ian. 3 Liberal Democrat MPs are members of the Privy Council. One is the leader, Charles Kennedy. Either of the other 2, please.
Simon Hughes.
Alan Beath and Mingus Campbell. Again, please, Mike.
6, please.
Films and books, please, Marilla. Which best-selling British author of humorous fantasy books, whose creations include Corporal Carrot and Gaspode the Wonder Dog, sold the rights to 3 novels this year to the Hollywood studio DreamWorks for $1 million?
Terry Pratchett.
Yes, Terry Pratchett. Onwards, please, Marilla.
12.
June, please. 17th century Bohemia. In 1618, some members of the Bohemian National Council were ejected from a castle window in Prague, helping to precipitate the outbreak of the 30 Years' War. By what name is this famous incident known?
No.
The defenestration of Prague. Again, please, Marilla.
3.
Science, please, and medicine, Martin. What name is given to a minute parasitic organism that reproduces only inside the cell of its host?
Leech.
A virus. Again, please, Marilla.
9.
The USA, John. An outgoing president in his last months of office, whose influence on future events is waning, is known in the USA by what 2-word term? A lame duck president. Again, please, Marilla.
15.
Poetry and the Bible, please, Alan. Which event in Genesis provided the inspiration for John Milton's 17th century epic poem, Paradise Lost?
Noah's Ark.
The fall of man, Adam's disobedience. Again, please.
8.
Music, please, Ian. What generic name is given to music intended to be played in intimate surroundings rather than a concert hall, the most common form being the string quartet?
Chamber music.
It is. A number, please.
4.
English counties, Dave. Fountains Abbey, Rievaulx Abbey and Bolton Abbey. Extensive medieval ruins in which English county?
Lancashire.
North Yorkshire. Again, please, Ian.
14.
Pop music, Mike. Which hit single by Queen, first released in 1975 and originally 7 minutes long, spent a total of 14 weeks at #1 in the United Kingdom and was accompanied by a pioneering video?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
And a number, please, Mike.
Number 1, please.
And Brian, which country now has the world's greatest number of sheep, overtaking Australia in 1996?
New Zealand.
China. Again, please, Mike.
Number 5, please.
Still China, Geoffrey. The name, please, of the Chinese sage who died in 479 BC. His grave outside Chufu is still a centre of pilgrimage.
Confucius.
And the number, Geoffrey, please.
Number 11.
Scotland, please, Walter. Which legendary Irish giant, father of the bard Ossian, is said to have built the Giant's Causeway and lived in Fingal's Cave on the island of Staffa in Scotland?
Oh.
Finn McCool. Again, please.
Number 8.
And Ian, please. The official regulatory body of horse racing in England was founded in 1752, meeting in the Coffee House in Newmarket. What is it called?
Tattersalls.
The Jockey Club. Again, please.
Number 3.
And Martin, please, English literature. What, according to the Scarlet Pimpernel, Sir Percy Blakeney, are demmed uncomfortable things?
The guillotine.
Duels. Again, please.
Number 12.
And June, what term has come into common usage to describe the facility where shoppers can withdraw an amount of money when making a debit card purchase? Cashback. Again, please.
14.
And Mike, please. Which English city, a large part of which lies within the Peak District National Park, is built on 7 hills? Sheffield. Again, please.
15.
And Alan, please. Law. At what age can a child open a deposit account in a national savings bank and draw money on its own signature?
18.
7 years of age. Again, please, Geoffrey.
7.
Shakespeare, please, Judith. I kissed thee ere I killed thee, the words of which eponymous hero of his wife Desdemona, whom he has murdered?
Othello.
And onwards, please.
14.
Political quotations, Mike. Which British Prime Minister in 1970 coined the phrase, one man's wage increase is another man's price increase?
Harold Wilson.
Yes, Harold Wilson. A number, please, Mike.
Number 5, please.
And Geoffrey, please. What name is given to the process of keeping milk at around 72 degrees centigrade for 15 seconds and then rapidly cooling it to destroy harmful bacteria?
Pasteurisation.
And the number, Geoffrey, please.
11.
And road coverings, Walter. What name is given to the naturally occurring black or brown semi-solid bitumen, which is mainly used for road covering and roofing?
Tar macadam.
Asphalt. Again, please.
Number 9.
London venues, this is, John? The music venue, the 100 Club, which has featured such diverse musicians as Louis Armstrong, the Sex Pistols and Oasis, is so called because its address is number 100 on which London street?
Soho Street.
Oxford Street. Again, please, Geoffrey.
Number 7.
Musical instruments, Judith. Which is the smallest member of the flute family?
Piccolo.
Yes, Judith. Onwards, please.
9. 11.
Walter, human anatomy. Where in the human body would you find an oval window, a round window and a vestibule?
Your ear.
Yes, in the middle and inner ear. A number, Walter.
4, please.
English history, Dave. Which pretender to the throne of England, whom Henry VII sent to work in his kitchens, shares his surname with a type of fruitcake traditionally eaten on Mothering Sunday? Lambert Simnel. Again, please.
5, please.
And Geoffrey, please. Biology, biography, biopsy. What's the meaning of the Greek word bios, from which these words derive?
Study of.
Life, or a way of living. Again, please.
6, please.
And quotations, please, Marilla. I don't want to achieve immortality through my work. I want to achieve it through not dying. The words of which American actor, comedy writer and film director? Woody Allen. Again, please.
7, please.
Judith, Norse mythology. In Norse mythology, what's the name of the queen of the underworld? Hel, or Hela. Again, please, Walter.
12, please.
And June, please. Stretching some 4,500 miles in length and having its highest point at Mount Aconcagua, which is the world's longest mountain range.
Himalayas.
The Andes. Again, please, Walter.
14, please.
Proverbs, Mike. Beauty is potent, but money is what?
No.
Omnipotent. Again, Walter.
5, please.
Musical notation, Geoffrey. The Americans call it a 16th note. What do we call it?
I don't know.
A semiquaver. Again, Walter.
6, please.
And ancient Greece, please, Marilla. Which philosopher supervised the education of the young Alexander the Great?
Homer.
Aristotle. We did get there. It is 12 down, 3 to go. And after the break, Judith Snell from Bristol, Walter Stewart from Glasgow, and Mike Braddock from Shrewsbury will be here for the final. Do please stay with us.
The three surviving contestants in today's 15-to-1 final are Judith Snell, a retired newsagent from Bristol, Walter Stewart, a plumber from Glasgow, and Mike Braddock, a retired psychiatric nurse from Shrewsbury.
Thank you. Welcome back. Judith, Walter and Mike, put your fingers on the buzzers. A winning score of 182 would get one of you onto the finals board. Here we go. Which old English unit of length still used in horse racing was based on an average... Walter?
Hands.
Pardon?
Hands.
No, furlong. I was going to ask you about the average ploughed furrow length. Poetry. From a poem by the American poet William Wallace, the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that... Mike?
Rules the world.
On we go, please. Medieval kings. According to the Christmas Carol, which munificent king of Bohemia... And Walter?
Stephen.
King Wenceslas it was going to be. And on we go, please. Forms of classical music. Liszt composed Hungarian ones. Gershwin composed one in blue. And Judith?
Rhapsody.
Indeed, rhapsodies, yes. In which county might you watch polo at Cowdray Park, show jumping at Hicksted, and racing at Goodwood? Mike?
Sussex.
Well, West Sussex, yes. And on we go, please. Still sport and cricket. 364 at the Oval in 1938 is the highest score ever made in a test match by an English batsman. Which Yorkshire batsman? Mike?
Jeff Boycott.
Len Hutton. And before Jeff Boycott's time. On we go, please. Name connections. What name connects a cathedral city in eastern England and the state capital of Nebraska in the USA? No? Lincoln. The King James Bible, the New Testament, from Matthew and Mark. Jesus' last words on the cross are a quotation from Psalm 22 in the Old Testament. What are his last words? Judith?
Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
No. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Science and chemistry. Introduced in 1909, what trade name was given to the first totally synthetic plastic to be made? Mike?
PVC.
No. Bakelite. And on we go, please. The American paediatrician Benjamin McLean, the author of Baby and Child Care, was better known by what name? And Walter?
Spock.
Yes, Benjamin Spock. And on we go, please. Will you look at this and tell me? This word, moon starers, is an appropriate anagram for which group or category of scientists? And Judith?
Astronomers.
Yes, it is. And on we go, please. Still astronomy. How many major planets are there in our solar system? And Walter?
9.
There are 9. And voluntary radio services. On Air is the official journal of the HBA. What in broadcasting is the HBA? Judith?
Hospital Broadcasting Association.
It is indeed. And a jolly good job they do too. And now, question or nominate?
Nominate. Walter.
And Walter, television comedy. The model makers Peter Fluck and Roger Law are best remembered for their work on which satirical television series first broadcast in 1984?
Spitting Image.
And question or nominate, Walter?
Nominate Mike.
Mike, mathematics. In which mathematical operation are two or more numbers combined to give an answer called the product? Multiplication. You have to leave us. And Walter, question or nominate?
Nominate, please.
And Judith, zoology. What on birds are primaries, secondaries and coverts?
Feathers.
They are. And question or nominate?
Nominate, please.
Radio 4, Walter. On weekdays on Radio 4, how is the slot from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. described in the title of the programme that occupies it?
Desert Island Discs.
Woman's Hour. No, don't relax, Judith. 41 points you had, 2 lives left, and there are 23 questions. Right, natural foods. The black Perigord and the white Piedmont are varieties of which naturally growing delicacy, often hunted using pigs?
Truffles.
They are. Look at this, please, and tell me, a still from the 1933 film, The Private Life of Henry VIII. Who won an Oscar for his role as the king?
Charles Lawton.
He did. What is a public footpath called on which horse riders have right-of-way?
Bridle path.
It is indeed. Publications. What was the surname of the printer to the House of Commons from 1774, his name now being synonymous with a daily parliamentary publication?
Hansard.
Yes, Luke Hansard his name was. And will you please look at this and tell me, a red telephone on wheels is the trademark of which financial services and insurance company?
Direct line.
It is Direct Line. Geography. The geographical connection, please, between these two groups of countries. In Europe, Luxembourg, Switzerland, Austria and Hungary. In South America, Bolivia and Paraguay. What's the connection? No? They're landlocked countries, have no coastlines. Historical terms. Named after the then Minister of Labour, what colloquial title was given to the young men who were conscripted to work in the mining industry in the 1940s rather than the armed forces?
Bevan report. No.
Yes, it is Bevan
Bevan
Boys,
Boys.
yes.
Bevan Boys, yeah.
Bevan Boys, yes, not Bevan Boys, no. And meteorology. Apart from being the names of rivers, what is the connection between Forth, Tyne, Humber, Thames and Shannon?
Shipping forecast areas.
They are sea areas in the shipping forecast. Which French phrase is used in English to mean the finishing blow? Coup de grace. Well, there you are. A winning score of 111, Judith. No place on the finals board, but go away, have a happy Christmas, and come and join us sometime next year. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Don't go away. Just stay there, though. Just stay there. And we'll be back tomorrow. See you then.
Who is in charge of preventing pregnancy, men or women? Today's topic for Richard and Judy at 5. But next, 4 daytime legends, Richard and Carol, with Countdown.
And if you'd like a go at 15 to 1, here are the addresses. 15 to 1, PO Box 273, London W1A 6EH. Postcards only, please, or by email to 15to1@channel4.com.